Hey guys, you are welcome or welcome back again to another juicy video. If you are seeing my face for the first time, my name is Becca. I'm a migrant nurse from Ghana, West Africa. I'm currently practicing and living in the UK. And on this channel, basically I talk about nursing videos, I do lifestyle videos, a little bit of me, some fun and positive vibes here and there. And to my returning subscribers, all I say is a very big thank you for always sticking onto the channel and for always coming back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you 20 reasons why you should work for the NHS, or 20 reasons why you should join the NHS. And I'm doing this video following the fact that for the past couple of weeks I have had overwhelming number of messages and emails of people asking me that they have had job offers from both the care home and the NHS and they do not know where to choose or where to go and work. And because I have transitioned from the NHS to the care home, they felt like I'm going to be the perfect or excellent person to tell them what it entails to work in both sectors. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you benefits or reasons why you should work for the NHS. Or even if you work for the NHS, there are some of these benefits that you do not know exist. So if this sounds of interest to you, you'd like to watch this video right until the end. First off, a huge congratulations to my fellow migrants who have had their job offers and they are looking forward to moving to the UK anytime soon. A big congratulations to you. You have earned it. If you are still waiting to get a job offer, you've passed all of your exams and you don't know what to do, I have done helpful videos of how to land your dream NHS job from overseas, and I'll recommend for you to please go and watch that video for you to get more insights to know how to apply directly to NHS jobs. So for those of you who do not know where I am coming from, let me just give you a brief background. So I was working with the NHS prior to transitioning to the care home. I've been in the care home for the past 7 months. But when I was in the NHS, I was doing overtime shifts. And because I was open to trainings and I developed myself up to a point, I've worked in 6 NHS trusts as an agency nurse. This is within the southeastern region of England and then in London. So I have had these experiences, I've interacted with people, and I have come up with 20 benefits that you may not have heard exist for you as an NHS nurse. The first I would like to talk about is pay enhancement. So most people say or think that the NHS salary is not good, but it all depends on the unit where you are working. If you are working in a unit that runs shift, you have what we call the enhancement. So basically when you work on weekend, when you work on holidays and you work on night shift, these shifts come with enhancement. Or when you do what we call the on-call sessions, or if you're the on-call rota, all of this comes with enhancement. Unlike in some of the privates where you have a flat salary or you have a flat rate, and even if you do overtime, it does not attract any additional enhancement. In the NHS, overtime attracts an additional enhancement, as well as weekend shift, night shift, and holiday shift attract some enhancements. So if you are able to mix these shifts with your regular shift, at the end of the day or at the end of the month, you are not going to be going home with your basic salary, but you are going to be going home with your basic salary plus enhancement. Number 2 is yearly pay rise. So in the NHS, there is a yearly pay rise automatically. So when you first join the NHS, you are put on the starter salary, or you are put on the band 5 starter salary when you've had your NMC pin. And then following that, every year that you celebrate your 1-year anniversary, your salary increases automatically. You don't need to do anything. So when you look on top of your payroll, you are going to be seeing your increment dates, which is the date from which you were first paid as a band 5, a year after that. And it goes on and on and on until you reach the apex of your profession. So every year you have an automatic increase in your salary. The next thing is agency shift. So before you can join the NHS agency or before you can join the NHS bank, they request for you to have prior knowledge or previous knowledge in NHS field for at least 6 months. And if you are in the NHS and you have had your competencies signed off, you can sign up to these agencies and they are going to be taking you to other NHS trusts. It's not only an opportunity for you to make a lot of money, but it's also an opportunity for you to see and learn what is going on in other NHS trusts. So for instance, I was in one trust, I was doing my permanent job, and I was going to other NHS trusts to work as an agency. And based on that, I developed a lot of experiences and a lot of competencies that I wouldn't have gotten if I was still in my permanent job role. So there were a lot of equipment that I learned how to use through my agency shift. There were a lot of machines I saw in a trust that I have never seen in other trusts. At a point, I was working in a trust that was solely computerized. So everything from medication administration to nurses note to all of your risk assessment, and everything is done on the computer. Nothing is done on paper. So being an agency nurse lets you see what is happening around other NHS trusts and to build you as a professional. But before you can join the NHS agency or before you can join the NHS bank, you need at least 6 months of exposure in the NHS or hospital setting before you'll be allowed to join the bank or you'll be allowed to do these agency shifts. Career progression. So in the NHS, there is career progression where you can progress from one band level to the other. In the UK, promotions are not automatic. So when you get your PIN or when you get your license to practice as a registered nurse, you are put on the band 5 and then you can progress up to band 9. So from band 5 to band 9, you are not jumped automatically. You have to progress through your profession. And what the NHS does is it gives you loads of trainings and loads of resources for you to be able to progress in this field. So from band 5, you can move to band 6. There is no specific amount of time that you can progress through your profession. You know your pace, you know how fast you have learned, you know how competent you are. Hence, if you feel like you are competent enough and you have learned enough, you can move on to another band level. I have colleagues who moved in with me to the UK and in 6 months they were already in band 6 and some are already moving to look for band 7 roles. So that is the beauty of working in the NHS. Personal development. So we have what we call the appraisal system, which is a way of evaluating yourself as an individual and setting realistic professional goals of where you want to see yourself in the next 1 year. So what usually happens is that at the beginning of every calendar year, the NHS gives you an appraisal where you set your goals, which are mostly your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats. And then you set a limit or you set a goal or you set a realistic goal that at the end of the year, you want to see yourself in this level or you want to see yourself in this field. So for instance, for me, I was in endoscopy and at a point I set up my goals that at the end of 6 months I need to see myself setting up the whole endoscopy suite for various endoscopy procedures. And what happens is you are given a mentor who mentors you or who sits with you from time to time to evaluate these goals and to see if you are achieving them. Your mentor sits with you 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks and 6 months of setting up these goals. At the end of the 12 months, he evaluates you and then he sees if your goals have been partially met or fully met, and then you re-strategize how you are going to meet these goals for the next half of the year. At the end of the year, it's your mentor's responsibility and it is your responsibility as well to see to it that your goal that is set up for the year has been either fully met or partially met. If it wasn't met, you can carry it on to the next year and so until that goal is met. Steady leave. So the NHS can give you a steady leave for you to go and advance yourself as a professional. So for instance, if you are working or you see yourself to be in a certain specialty but you do not have the needed requirements or you do not have the necessary skills, they can sponsor you to go to school and still work at the same time so that you get that certification that you need for you to come back to work with the specialty that you have attained. And most of the times these steady leaves are paid for by the trust. So if you are fortunate enough, you can have 100% fully funded steady leave. You can have 50%, 70% depending on how the trust wants to fund you. But most of the times they fund you for you to go to school and at the same time work so that you can make money and you can concentrate on your schooling. Sick pay. So some of the private hospitals, when you are sick or when you call off sick, you are not paid for that particular shift. But in the NHS, you can self-certify up to 7 days that you are sick and you don't need a GP's report or you don't need a doctor's note to certify that you are sick. So when you are sick, you just need to call your manager and then they are going to be putting you on the sick pay. You are going to be paid just as you were working. If after a week you are not able to come to work, then you can get a doctor certification to show that you are still sick and you will not be able to come to work and you are still going to be paid. And most of these private hospitals or some of these private hospitals do not offer that. Paid maternity leave. So in the NHS, you are entitled to a full 12 months of maternity leave, which is a full complete year, which is your legal entitlement that you should have if you are working with the NHS. And the beauty of this is this maternity leave comes paid depending on how long you have served with the trust or depending on how long you've served with the NHS. So sometimes they give you 6 months of full salary whilst you're on your maternity leave. The next 3 months they give you half pay and the next 3 months is unpaid for. It all depends on how long you've been with the NHS. Paternity leave. So paternity leave, if you are a man and your wife is due to go for delivery or your wife has delivered, you can take up to 2 weeks of paternity leave just to be with your wife to make sure that she's comfortable and to look after her and the newborn baby. and you will still be paid for going on your paternity leave. Shared parental leave. So shared parental leave is the maternity leave is split into two between the partners, whether they are same sex or you are responsible for helping a single mother. So let's say you have a friend or a relative who is a single mother, and you are acting like a partner, helping that person look after the child, or you are the same sex, you are in same-sex relationship and your partner has delivered a baby. You can share your maternity leave between the two. So one partner will take 6 months and the other partner will take 6 months, and you both have the time or the chance to look after the baby until the baby is 1 year. Parental leave. So in the NHS, you can take up to 18 weeks of parental leave until your child turns 18 years. So parental leave includes like taking off some days when your child is sick, or probably when your child comes into the country and needs to be integrated into the system, or your child is starting school for the first time and you need to be there to look after this child. You can take some days off work, up to 18 weeks for each child until the child turns 18 years, and you are still entitled to be paid for all these leaves. The next one I'm going to be talking about is the bereavement leave. So if you've lost a loved one, mostly a child or a partner, you can be given at least 2 weeks to go and mourn the death of this person, and you're still going to be paid for. Annual leave. If you are joining the NHS between the time you started up to 5 years, you are entitled to 27 days of annual leave plus 8 days of public holidays. And if you are between 5 years to 10 years, you are entitled to 29 days of annual leave plus 8 days of public holidays. And if you have served above 10 years, you are entitled to 33 days of annual leave plus 8 days of public holidays. So it's like the more you serve, the more your annual leave entitlement, or the more annual leave entitlement you receive. Fast and free learning tools or free learning pools. So in the NHS, every trust intranet have vast free learning tools that you can have access to, ranging from leadership courses, management courses, infection prevention courses, any course that you can think of that you can build you up as a professional are all available on your trust intranet, and all of these trainings are for free. The reason why I'm explaining this is sometimes you go for these trainings elsewhere and you are required to pay for them. But in the NHS, if you join them and you go for these trainings, they are all made available for free for you. NHS pension. So research has shown that the NHS pension is one of the best pensions in the UK, and one of the best pensions actually in the world, because your employer contributes a higher percentage towards your pension and you contribute a lesser percentage towards your pension, so that when you go on retirement in the future, you still have a reasonable amount of money to be living on NHS discount. So there are a lot of retail shops, restaurants, flight and holiday discount for NHS staff. So what you have to do is, when you have your NHS smart card, if you go into any shop or if you are trying to do your shopping, whether it's groceries or anything, try to ask the shop if they offer NHS discount, and you'll be shocked to hear that you would have as high as 40 to 50% discount on everything you buy. And these are mostly available for NHS staff. So basically they take your smart card, and then sometimes they require you to have your NHS email, because they're going to be sending you a verification code through your email for you to verify, to be sure that you are the right person. And then you can have up to 50% discount on anything you purchase, especially in most of these designer outlets. So in the NHS, it is easy for you to change jobs. So for instance, if you're in one specialization and you feel like you don't really like it, or it's not of interest to you, you don't need to change jobs like going outside the trust. You can change jobs internally. So that's called an internal change of jobs. So you can just literally go to the trust intranet and you look for other job roles in other departments or in other specializations, and then you apply for them, you go for interviews, and then you switch jobs. It's that swift. It takes like about 6 weeks from the time you qualify for the interview to get into your new job role. It takes like about 6 weeks. You don't need to change jobs and change certificate of sponsorship, especially for those of us that are on tier 2 sponsorship. You don't need to go all over the process for changing jobs. You can do the internal change of jobs, and this is a brilliant opportunity for you because you can stay in one trust and you can literally work in everywhere you want to work. So you can today be working in trauma and orthopedics, the next day you can be in accident and emergency, the next time you can go to IT, the next time you can do a bit of surgery, you can do a bit of medicine. So it gives you this kind of beauty in nursing, where you see everything that is happening within the healthcare setting, and you get all of these within one trust. The use of sophisticated equipment. So I am saying this because there are loads of equipment that you haven't seen yet that you need to learn from, and all of this equipment, trust me, are in the NHS. There are some of this equipment that you see just once in your lifetime. You are not going to see them anywhere. So since I started working in agency, there are some equipment like the Omnicell I have seen in just one trust. It is just one trust I've seen that uses the Omnicell. Even the Baxter pumps, all of the trusts have different Baxter pumps that they use. So as you are like working along the trust, or as you are moving from ward to ward, it is a day-to-day learning experience. Like literally every day you see something new in your life that you have never ever seen before, and this builds your confidence and it builds your competencies as a professional. Next thing is NHS work email. So in the NHS, every staff has a personalized work email that is your name, and they have nhs.net at the end. So it is your personalized email where you have access to communicating with every other member of staff or every team members, where you can do your referrals on your own. And also with this work emails, you can give references to your junior colleagues if they need to. So let's say you're band 6 and you have a junior colleague who is a band 5 who needs a reference to do a job elsewhere or something. You as a band 6 can use your work email or your NHS email to give this person a reference, and it gives you that kind of autonomy to do certain things that you want to do, which you wouldn't get elsewhere. The last but certainly not the least is the benefits of death. So God forbid it's not going to happen, but let's say in the course of your duty, or whilst you are still working with the trust, or whilst you're still working for the NHS, if you lose your life, or let's say your partner works at the NHS and your partner loses their life, death is inevitable. We can't do without it. If something happens and the person or the other person loses their life, depending on who they have set up to be their immediate person or who is their partner, the NHS is going to be giving your pension contributions to this partner, or they're going to be giving a lump sum amount to this partner. Or let's say if you have left the NHS, or you are on retirement for up to 5 years and you haven't taken your lump sum, this lump sum can be given to your next of kin, or your significant other, or your civil partner, or your spouse who is left behind. So these are some of the benefits that the NHS gives you that most of the privates will not give you. So if you're contemplating, you don't know where to work, you are considering whether to work with the NHS or to work with the private, you can go through this checklist to see if these sounds of interest to you, you would want to join the NHS. Let me know in the comment section if there is anything that I've left out, or there is any benefit that I haven't talked about. Let me know in the comment section down below, and let's all help and educate ourselves. Until we meet again in my next video, guys, it's bye for now. Adios.